All right. Thanks, Nick. Dancing forward, very interesting set of projects. Just jumping into my project, for those who don't know me, I'm Chris Peter. I'm the research coordinator at Great Bay for 3 years now. I've been co-leading this project with wonderful people. Many of them are on this call. So many more I couldn't enlist on this slide because it's such a huge project team. I'll get to that in a second. Our abbreviated title is Detecting Impacts from Climate Change and National Synthesis, and we're doing this in tidal marshes across the country. Pictured here is a tote workshop from a couple of years ago at Great Bay, highlighting this very same thing, how sea level rise impacts marshes in Great Bay for local middle school and high school teachers. So very appropriate picture. And here we go. And we're utilizing the wealth of NERR data and the awesome wealth of NERR people. So for NERR data, we're looking at tidal marsh data from around the country, and this is showing the vegetation data set that we have around the country. And this is even 1 or 2 years old, so you can add a couple more years of data to many of these reserves. For people, we have almost every reserve involved. Any reserve that has any plant data is involved, and some reserves that don't, and even some reserves that don't exist quite yet, including Connecticut. So we're excited to have such an all-encompassing engaged group. We also understand the value of external users outside the reserve system, and so we created an external advisory group full of university academics, government agencies, land managers. So we have a huge diverse group of people on this project team. So how did we get here? Because it's quite big. Well, we built off 2 projects, 2 Science Collaborative Catalyst projects. One is basically the same thing that I'm describing, but at a regional level, so looking at New England. And then we're trying to scale that up. Another project is also a Catalyst project, was looking at sediment elevation table data, surface elevation table data, sorry, and trying to standardize, format, QA, and visualize that data using our software. So we're going to take those processes, approach, project teams, end users, and combine them together into this project. And that's how we kind of got here. Jumping back to this national project for high-level goals, ultimately we want to help decision makers better understand and identify marsh change, and that informs management, current management, and future management. We're going to do that by tapping into several different buckets. One is the data analysis, data tools bucket, where you recognize, there's kind of a stop when you monitor data, and sometimes it's harder to get to that analysis, especially analysis across regions and national analysis. So we're going to try to create tools that help facilitate that. We're going to generate science at regional and national scales, which hasn't been done, especially for national scales. We're also going to provide education through workshops and trainings for these data analysis tools. We're going to be funding a master's student and several interns from across the country. We're also going to be providing communication projects for educators and for managers. So kind of tapping into a lot of different veins here. Some specific project outputs. I'm not going to talk about all of these, but just briefly a couple. We're going to create a community of practice that's going to be well versed in doing this, taking monitoring data, best practices of field monitoring, standardizing it locally, and able to mesh it regionally and nationally, creating reporting tools and communication products. I guess I'll leave it at that because I could talk about this for a long time, but I did want to mention this. I forgot to mention one last person in my project team, so it's a real serious project. And I know I glossed over a lot of the details, but if you're interested in really diving in, there's a great Science Collaborative webinar that highlights these 2 Catalyst projects, which is the foundation of this national project.